This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in London at the weigh-in ahead of the JD Nxtgen show tomorrow evening at York Hall. With me, Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how are you, mate? Been a busy man?
Yeah, I've been very busy. It's the last show of the year, so it's just nice to wind down a little bit. But you know, you can never get enough too much boxing.
Let's start off with the main event on this bill. You're a man that knows a thing or two about cruiserweight boxing. Jack Massey in a Richard Riakporhe British title on the line. Great domestic dust-up to end the air on.
Yeah, you've got two unbeaten fighters as well that are coming through on this. I think Riakporhe, every time I see him, there's something about him that tells me that there's more to come. Or there's just a line he needs to get over to say, this is what I'm capable of doing. My old trainer Brendan Ingle used to say, you've not got the confidence to match your ability. Richard Riakporhe is that fighter. I think he's got an amazing ability. And along the line, he may come across a couple of speed bumps. He may lose. But he has to learn from that. I think he's a very good fighter. I think right now he's navigating his way through and learning on the job. But he will get better as long as he's with the people he's with. But the penny will finally drop. And I say that because when Brendan said that to me, I thought, what do you mean? You know, I'm not got the confidence to match my ability. I'm good. I'm British champion. But then I realised where he was coming from and what he was saying. And so in doing that, I thought, I'm with you now. You know, so when the penny finally did drop, I thought, yeah, he's dead right.
With Jack Massey, we thought he was going to be challenging for the British title earlier in the year against Lawrence Arcola. Didn't happen. He had quite a severe injury setback. Coming into a fight like this, what do you think's going through his head? There's obviously the pressure of being on the big stage against Richard Riakporhe and also coming off a difficult injury as well.
But remember, Massey's had more professional experience than Riakporhe, and he should have been here before. So as far as he's concerned, even though he's coming in the opposite corner, as far as he's concerned, he thinks he's done everything to deserve his position. And if I was a fighter coming through, I'd look at Riakporhe and think, kid's good, but he doesn't know what he's doing yet, so I better get him now. Jack Massey, if he's going to fight him, he needs to fight him now. Get him now. If fighters are there and they look at Riakporhe, get him now, because when the penny drops, they won't be him. And he's doing an amazing job at this stage in his career. So for Jack Massey, Massey needs to draw on his experience, his confidence, think, right, he fought his way to this position earlier on in the year. So only through injury why it didn't happen and it fell through. So now he has to be smart and work on it and just think to himself, right, I will get this done.
With Lawrence Arcola moving on to sort of world level now, which we'll come on to, do you think the winner of this has to be considered top dog on sort of the domestic scene?
Yeah, of course. That's what being a British champion is all about. And because you look at the top 10, you look at all the fighters that are out there, and you think, right, you know what, I've done it the conventional way, the legitimate way. Then doing it that way, what happens is it gives you more confidence as a fighter as well. And so yeah, it's a good. I think it's a good way to move forward. To look on to getting onto the Commonwealth, getting onto the European circuit, then eventually onto the world circuit. And you look at Lawrence Arcola. Lawrence Arcola is going to be heavyweight. Lawrence Arcola is a massive cruiserweight, and you look how he won the European title against a seasoned strong fighter, and he got the job done. I think Lawrence will probably end up being world champion 2020, and then I'll move up to heavyweight. And so whilst Lawrence is around in that shark-infested pool, just play in your waters, stay in your lane, you know what I mean? Because Lawrence is just too awkward, big and awkward. I know him and Riakporhe have some history, but some kids develop quicker than others as in the professional ranks. And Lawrence's awkwardness, his size, and his success is giving more confidence as he's gone along.
And we know it looks like Lawrence will be facing Glowacki for the WBO Cruiserweight Title, something you know all about. You know, some people are suggesting it might be too soon, but for someone that's moved so quickly and so effectively, not always pleasing on the eye, but effective, very hard to beat, do you see any reason why he shouldn't just go for it at this point?
Again, he's in a position where he's inexperienced, but he's too experienced for what's in his division. So therefore, he's getting so much success. He's pushing himself along to the point where, right, you've got yourself here now, son. You can't step back. You can't step back to find someone who's number 6 or number 5 in the ratings, in the British range. You've got to move on and move forward. Again, Lawrence is one of those ones that he's getting better with time. He's surrounded by success. He's surrounded by people that are becoming seasoned. So for Lawrence, the only way is up. And you know what, like Anthony Joshua, he's learning on the job. like Anthony Joshua, he will be open for criticism. And Lawrence style's not attractive, but the public will actually come to think, that's him. Yeah, I get Lawrence, I get the criticism he gets, I get everything, because I was in that position. He's in the Who Needs Him club. And if he didn't have a title, they'd just lock him away. They think, I don't want to know. And he's just in that position.
Elsewhere, Johnny, Friday night, Matchroom sort of closing out the year with Jacobs against Chavez Jr. Just wanted to get your quick thoughts on that fight. How do you see it playing out as Jacobs steps up to 168 for the first time?
Jacobs, I think, listen, for fight stepping up, especially against Chavez Jr., I think Jacobs is a good fighter. Jacobs knows what he's capable of doing. When out in the public, you see a fighter when he's down to weight, you think that's your weight. A lot of fighters walk around comfortably, like we saw at light heavyweight when we saw Canelo step up to light heavyweight, and we thought, that's a massive ask. What are you doing? But he's comfortable at that. Getting down to the weight is very hard, and I think Jacobs stepping up, it's not as big a task as what you think. Because he's tall for his weight anyway. So I think he'd be very comfortable, and I think don't be surprised on the performance. He'll have speed, he'll have movement, and he has experience.
I think we could see the best of him up there. Obviously, he's been quite public with his struggles to get down at 160, quite big for the weight. I think we could see the best of him, as you mentioned, might be a bit more quick and not struggling to boil himself down so much.
And you get a better performance. I can remember when I boxed at Cruiserweight, and the weight was 13 stone 8. And I didn't realise how much I struggled until it was moved up to 14.4. And I thought, wow, I felt so much better, stronger, and mentally on it. So for Jacobs moving up, again, he knows. The only time you see, a lot of fighters that are struggling to make it, the only time you actually see the weigh-in is like 24 hours around the weigh-in. The only time you see that weigh-in is the 5 minutes before you step on the scales. And that's the only time you see the weight. So guys that admit to struggling with the weight, they're really struggling. And so I do believe that for Jacobs it would be the best move.
Obviously, Johnny, we did a post-fight interview with you in Diriyah. It was a fantastic watch. Went down a storm. Final reflections upon Ruiz Joshua. It's been just over a week. The event, the fight itself. Your final thoughts?
Anthony Joshua. I think what's happened to Anthony Joshua was the best thing that happened to him. Losing was the best thing that happened to him. It was a reality check. Anthony Joshua has done what he's done in his stride. He's done it, and he became champion and did the job and got the wins. And so eventually went in with an attitude where he cut a corner. He went in there and he thought to himself, you know what, I've not seen this guy. I'll just get it done over and done with. The responsibility of being a champion is you've got to be on point for every fight. So if Anthony Joshua was ever going to lose, that was the time to lose, because he couldn't afford to go in the ring with that same attitude, that same mindset against the Tyson Fury, against the Deontay Wilder. Now he's tasted defeat. He knows how it hurts inside. He knows that bitterness that's inside, and so the difference between Wilder and Fury is he's tasted defeat. So he's experienced something they haven't now. So therefore, even though they may be more seasoned as professionals, he has now got something. I'm thinking, I know what defeat is, and I know what it does to you. I know if it makes you or breaks you, and I've shown what I'm capable of doing. He knows what else he needs to add to his arsenal as a fighter. So again, the whole time of June the 1st to December the 7th is the best thing that can happen to him, because he went back to the drawing board thinking, right, I need to go back to basics. This is what I need to do. It's something he should have been doing all the time. So now he'll know when he's fighting, well, I need to be on point here. This is what I've got to do. This is going to be my lifestyle. So he was in the studio yesterday. We had an AJ day. He was very cool, very true with himself in regards to what he did and how he did it, and attitude to the fight, and losing the fight, coming back to get the win. And I like that. There was a maturity. There was a realisation of thinking, I get it now, the penny's dropped. And people keep forgetting. He's only been in boxing 11 years. And amateurs for 10 years, then they turn pro and then start to learn the job. He's had to learn quick and achieve so much things. Remember, he started boxing 3 years after he started boxing. He was boxing for the Olympic gold. People don't realise what he's achieved, so it showed mentally he has a strength about him. Job was done, the rest is history. I think out there in Saudi Arabia, every sort of change is going to be welcomed with criticism, skepticism. People are going to think, what's all that about? Saudi Arabia is trying to change its image. Saudi Arabia is trying to open the doors to the world. And there are criticisms about it. But just remember this. It was the same conversation I had with Dubai. Now Dubai is one of the places where everybody goes for holiday. And so they're trying to change. They're trying to open the door so people see what it's like. All the things I've heard, when I went there, I can honestly tell you, I didn't witness anything. When I felt very comfortable, very welcomed. That might be just me. That might be a show just for me. But these little steps, these things take time. And I think the show itself, they put on an amazing event, and it was just nice to see.
Anthony Joshua, as you mentioned, was around Sky yesterday. Caused a bit of a storm, saying he'd be open to sparring with Tyson Fury ahead of his rematch with Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury then came back on his Instagram and said, "Yeah, let's do it. Come over." Very pally-pally. What did you make of all that? Why not?
He's got to. And even if Anthony Joshua said that tongue in cheek, or if he meant it, if I was Tyson Fury's trainer, I'd say no way in hell is Anthony Joshua coming over to spar, because the only person that benefits out of that is Anthony Joshua, because Tyson Fury needs to concentrate on the biggest fight in his life, which is his next fight against Deontay Wilder. So why would you let a man that's potentially going to be your next opponent within the next 12 months or so come into training camp and see your strengths, see your weaknesses, see what you're good at, see what you're not good at? You wouldn't do it. But Tyson Fury really wants it. But any common sense coach will say, no, that's not happening. And again, the only person that will benefit from that right now is Anthony Joshua. Of course, Tyson Fury's got to come back and say, yeah, come on down. Because it's like me calling you a pussy on air and me not responding. So Tyson's got to respond, and I'm quite sure Tyson's will do it. But his coach is saying, no, it's not happening. He's not coming.
Obviously, with Tyson, we have seen the trainer change recently. He's no longer working with Ben Davison. He's going to be working with Sugar Hill Stewart. What do you make of that change? Obviously, these changes aren't made lightly at the top level, especially ahead of a rematch of that magnitude.
No, I'm not disrespecting Ben Davison, because I think he did an amazing job with Tyson Fury. After Tyson Fury had such a long spell off, I think how he handles Tyson emotionally, mentally, he's a perfect man for the job. Tyson Fury knows way much more than Ben Davison. So Ben Davison can't tell him anything, but Ben Davison knows how to bring the best out of him. So in doing that, I think that union worked. Now Tyson Fury wants something more. He wants somebody else that will bring something else out of him. So don't diss Ben Davison and say he's being dumb, because Tyson Fury wants something else. Don't be surprised if these two get back together again. What that Tyson Fury has done is introduced Ben Davison to the world. Who knew him before Tyson Fury dragged him into his circle of trust? And so from Ben Davison, it's not the end of that young man. And I rate what he did with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's done what's good for him, and as a linear champion, he's making sure he's making linear decisions, and decisions that may not be popular, may not be understood, but they have to be done for improvement, because he needs that next step. Ben Davison took him as far as he could take him to get a draw with a man he actually, I think, beat. Now he needs that next step to make sure he gets beyond a draw. So I get it.
Final thing from me, Johnny, because as you can hear from the music, things are just starting to get going here at the weigh-in. Final question, been a productive year, plenty of action-packed fights, whether Sky or elsewhere. Going into next year, 2020, what's your wish list? Can you give me maybe 3 fights that you'd love to see next year, Johnny?
Fights next year, I'd say Dillian White against Andy Ruiz. Again, I think these fights are lined up anyway. I mean, I'm intrigued to see how Alexander Usyk goes against Derek Chisora. I'm talking the big guys now, and I'd love to see Lawrence Arcola in a world title fight. And in doing that, I think again, I'm all for the Brits.
Johnny, I'm going to let you go. Thank you as always for making time for Boxing Social, and we'll catch you very soon.